The hip-hop world just got hit with another bombshell. Papoose has finally spoken out, and his words are cutting deep. After years of defending Remy Ma and standing by her side through everything, Papoose is done keeping quiet. And this time, he's calling her out for allegedly stepping out of their marriage and leaving him for younger men. The hip-hop world has always loved a good scandal, but this time it hit closer to home for fans who believed they were watching one of the last real love stories in rap. For years, Papoose and Remy Ma were celebrated as the ride-or-die couple, the duo who proved that loyalty still existed in the chaos of fame. But now that image has been shattered and the internet is still reeling. Papoose, the man who once proudly declared his loyalty to Remy during her toughest moments, has allegedly blasted her for cheating, and worse, for leaving him for younger men. This wasn't just gossip whispered in the shadows. It was a blow-up that took fans by storm after a private video leaked online. In the clip, Papoose's usually calm demeanor was replaced with fury. He didn't mince his words, delivering a scathing message that left fans stunned. "I gave everything to this woman," he said, his voice trembling between rage and heartbreak. "I sacrificed, I waited, I held her down when nobody else would, and this is how I get paid back? With lies? With disrespect? With her chasing some young dudes like what we built doesn't matter?" The raw emotion in his words shook fans. This wasn't the same Papoose who used to beam with pride while talking about his wife. This was a man who felt betrayed on the deepest level, and the fact that his words went public made everything even more explosive. Almost instantly, blogs, podcasts, and gossip pages ran with the story. Hashtags like Chalk Papoose Speaks and Chalk Remy Scandal began trending as the internet dissected every word, every gesture, every possible clue that could confirm what he was talking about. The spotlight turned quickly to Remy. Had she really cheated on the man who held her down through a prison sentence, through career setbacks, and through years of public scrutiny? Fans couldn't believe it at first. Remy and Pap had been the poster couple for loyalty in hip-hop. Their wedding while she was incarcerated was legendary, a story of commitment that fans admired and envied. Papoose's reputation as a faithful man who never strayed while his wife was behind bars made him a rare figure in a world full of scandals and betrayals. That's why this revelation cut deeper than anything else. It wasn't just about infidelity. It was about shattering a love story fans thought was untouchable. But the internet wasn't just shocked, it was divided. On one side, supporters of Papoose flooded social media with sympathy. "He deserves better," one fan posted. "He was loyal to her when the world moved on. He sacrificed his own career just to keep her name alive. And this is how she does him?" Others even began pulling up old clips of Papoose defending Remy during past controversies, using them as receipts to prove just how much he had invested in their relationship. On the other side, some argued that people were jumping to conclusions too quickly. "We don't even know if this is about Remy," one fan argued. "Y'all love creating drama. Until we hear her side, we don't know the truth." And that's where things got even more complicated, because Remy's side never came. She didn't release a statement, didn't post a denial, didn't clap back on social media. She stayed completely silent, and that silence only fueled more speculation. To make matters worse, fans began connecting the dots back to rumors that had been floating around months earlier, specifically the whispers about Remy and battle rapper Easy the Block Captain. The two had been spotted together multiple times, and their undeniable chemistry during live rap events made people question if something more was happening. At first, fans brushed it off as just business. But with Papoose's words now hitting the internet, people began revisiting those moments with a new lens. "Y'all remember when Pap and Easy got into it backstage?" One fan commented. "We thought it was about rap politics, but maybe it was deeper than that." That alleged backstage incident became one of the most discussed points in this saga. According to reports, there had been tension between Papoose and Easy during a battle rap event, though both sides downplayed it at the time. Now, fans were convinced it had everything to do with Remy. Pap wasn't just mad for no reason, one fan speculated. He knew something was going on and he couldn't hold it in anymore. The betrayal, if true, wasn't just about cheating. It was about Remy allegedly leaving Papoose behind for younger men. That particular accusation hit hard because it painted a picture of a woman who no longer valued the loyalty and stability Pap offered. Instead, she was chasing a thrill, something new and exciting, without regard for the man who had stood by her through it all. Sources close to the couple painted a grim picture. They claimed the fights between Remy and Papoose had been escalating, behind closed doors, with Pap growing increasingly frustrated over her behavior. He had reportedly begged her to tone things down, to stop embarrassing him, but his pleas went unheard. Eventually, his anger boiled over, and that's when he decided he wasn't protecting her image anymore. What hurt most for fans was watching the legacy of their relationship unravel in real time. For so long, they were a symbol of hope in an industry full of broken homes and temporary flings. They showed the world that you could have fame, money, and still hold on to love. But now, that image had been flipped upside down, leaving fans questioning everything they thought they knew. And as the clip of Papoose's rant continued to spread, one question lingered in everyone's mind. What happens next? Would Remy finally break her silence and set the record straight? Would Papoose continue to air out his pain for the world to see? Or was this the beginning of the end for one of hip-hop's most iconic couples? One thing was clear. The cracks in their relationship could no longer be ignored. What started as rumors had now become a full-blown scandal, and with both fans and media demanding answers, the pressure was only mounting. The hip-hop world was waiting, and the drama was only just beginning. If part one was the spark, then what happened next was the firestorm. After Papoose's furious words made their way across social media, the hip-hop world braced itself for Remy Ma's response. Fans waited, blogs speculated, and gossip pages kept refreshing her Instagram feed every hour, hoping for some kind of clapback. But instead of jumping into the drama, Remy stayed silent, and that silence screamed louder than words. Her refusal to defend herself only fueled the rumors that maybe Papoose wasn't just ranting out of anger, but actually speaking the truth. And when it comes to celebrity scandals, silence is never golden. Silence becomes evidence, and that's exactly how the public treated it. Suddenly, every old interview, every public appearance, every body language clip between Papoose and Remy was being analyzed like a crime scene. Fans were digging through their past moments together, looking for cracks they might have missed. Did Remy look uninterested in that one award show? Did Papoose look distant at that reunion special? Every clip became a potential clue in what was quickly being called the downfall of hip-hop's golden couple. But it didn't stop there. Sources began whispering to outlets about what was allegedly happening behind the scenes. According to one insider, Papoose had been holding on to this for months, knowing about Remy's involvement with another man, but choosing to stay quiet for the sake of their family and their public image. But as the tension built, and as Remy allegedly became more reckless, Pap's patience snapped. That explains the unfiltered, emotional rant that fans saw go viral. The man many called the blueprint of loyalty was now fed up, and fans understood. Why? For years, he had sacrificed his own career ambitions to push Remy back into the spotlight after her prison release. He played the role of manager, promoter, caretaker, and husband all in one. And to see him allegedly repaid with betrayal struck a nerve, not only for him but also for the people who had invested emotionally in their love story. But here's where things turned even more dramatic. Papoose wasn't just hurt, he was ready to expose. In private conversations that began leaking to blogs, he allegedly accused Remy of chasing a new lifestyle with younger men who could give her that energy she craved. According to Pap, she wasn't satisfied with the stability and loyalty he provided anymore. She wanted the thrill of someone fresh, someone less tied down by family responsibilities, someone who reminded her of her early days in the game. Fans immediately linked this to the ongoing speculation about her connection with battle rapper Easy the Block Captain. The whispers grew louder. Was Easy the reason their marriage was crumbling? While no hard evidence ever confirmed it, Papoose's words lined up too closely with the rumors for people to ignore. And soon enough, the internet had decided Easy was the alleged third party in this love triangle. The mess didn't just stay within their marriage, it spilled out into the industry. Papoose's close friends and peers began subtly taking sides. Some rappers posted cryptic tweets about loyalty, while others reposted Pap's rant, showing support. One comment that went viral came from a longtime collaborator who wrote, "Some of y'all don't know what it means to be truly held down. Pap showed the world, and this is how it ends? Nah, I can't respect it." Meanwhile, Remy's circle stayed unusually quiet. Normally outspoken, her camp didn't issue a statement, didn't clap back at blogs, didn't even attempt to shift the narrative. That silence was interpreted by fans as confirmation that something was indeed going on, and the fact that Remy herself seemed unbothered only made things worse. She continued posting pictures and promoting business ventures, avoiding the drama altogether. To Pap, that was the ultimate insult. The idea that his pain was being ignored publicly while she carried on as if nothing had happened. Things escalated further when Papoose unfollowed Remy on social media. That might sound like a small move, but in today's digital world, it spoke volumes. Fans saw it as the final straw, a signal that the marriage was officially in shambles. Within hours, blogs blasted headlines like, "Papoose cuts ties with Remy," and "The king of loyalty finally walks away." But it wasn't just social media gestures that revealed the cracks. Behind the scenes, reports began surfacing that Papoose had moved out of their shared home. According to insiders, he was staying with family, focusing on his music again, and avoiding any direct interaction with Remy outside of co-parenting duties. For a man who once couldn't stop praising his wife in public, this was a heartbreaking shift. The betrayal narrative only grew darker as fans started pulling receipts of Remy's alleged flirtations during interviews, backstage events, and even on stage. Clips resurfaced of her laughing a little too hard at another rapper's jokes, or leaning in close during battle rap events. On their own, these moments might have seemed harmless. But in the context of Papoose's accusations, fans painted them as proof that she had checked out of the marriage long before things went public. Papoose, meanwhile, seemed to be struggling between anger and heartbreak. On one hand, he blasted Remy for chasing younger men and betraying their vows. On the other hand, people close to him revealed he was still deeply in love with her, and part of his rage came from not being able to let go of the woman he sacrificed so much for. That duality, love and hate colliding, was what made his words so raw, so believable, and so devastating to hear. The fallout wasn't just emotional. It was professional too. Fans began questioning what would happen to their joint business ventures, reality TV appearances, and music collaborations. Their brand was built on their love story, and now that story had collapsed, everything else was hanging in the balance. Promoters reportedly grew hesitant about booking them together, while reality TV producers debated whether to use this scandal as content for upcoming seasons. But the most chilling part of Part 2 came when insiders suggested that this wasn't just about infidelity, it was about power. According to them, Remy had been feeling suffocated by Papoose's control over her career. She wanted freedom, independence, and to step out of the shadow of being Papoose's wife. To her, chasing younger men and new opportunities wasn't just about romance. It was about reclaiming her sense of identity. To Pap, however, it felt like betrayal stacked on betrayal. By the end of Part 2, one thing was clear. The golden couple of hip-hop was no more. What began as a whisper had erupted into a full-scale scandal, and Papoose's words had left an open wound that fans, peers, and media couldn't stop picking at. The silence from Remy only made it worse, leaving Papoose isolated in his heartbreak, and fans desperate for answers. The stage was set for an even more explosive fallout. Would Remy finally break her silence and clap back at Pap's accusations? Would Papoose take things even further and air out receipts that could permanently damage her reputation? Or was this just the beginning of a never-ending war between two people who were once considered the blueprint for love and loyalty in hip-hop? If Papoose's accusations were the spark and his silence from Remy was the gasoline, then what happened next was the explosion that shook the entire hip-hop community. After weeks of fans demanding answers, Remy Ma finally broke her silence, and her words only made things even more complicated. It happened during a live panel event where Remy was asked about rumors surrounding her marriage. At first, she tried to dodge the question with a smile, but when the moderator pushed, Remy gave a chillingly calm response. "I don't owe anybody an explanation for what goes on in my house. At the end of the day, people move on, people grow, and sometimes love doesn't last forever." That one statement hit the internet like a nuclear bomb. Fans immediately latched onto her choice of words. Move on? Grow? Love doesn't last forever? Those didn't sound like the words of a woman denying allegations of cheating. Instead, they sounded like someone admitting that she was done with her marriage. The love story that fans had championed for more than a decade was suddenly being dismissed with a few casual words. And while Remy's camp tried to spin it as her setting boundaries and choosing peace, the damage was already done. Papoose, hearing those words, reportedly went into a rage. According to insiders, he felt blindsided. After years of defending her, sacrificing for her, and building their brand together, she had reduced their marriage to a throwaway statement, in front of cameras. But what really fueled the fire was what came next. Just days after that panel, Remy was spotted at an event, standing side by side with none other than Easy the Block Captain. Cameras caught them laughing, whispering, and even exchanging what fans swore looked like flirty glances. Whether or not they were romantically involved, the optics were undeniable. Pap had accused her of chasing younger men, and now here she was, publicly linked to one of the very people fans suspected all along. The internet went into meltdown. Headlines screamed, "Remy chooses Easy over Papoose." Blogs posted side by side. Pictures of Papoose and Easy highlighting their age difference, their styles, and their energy. Fans debated endlessly in the comments, some defending Remy as a woman who deserved happiness and independence, others blasting her for betraying the man who had stood by her through everything. For Papoose, this was the ultimate betrayal. He had already accused her of cheating, already claimed she left him for younger men, and now she was confirming it, not with words but with actions. His social media went dark for days, and when he finally returned, it wasn't with a rant this time, but with something even heavier. A freestyle. In true Pap fashion, he turned his heartbreak into bars. Over a haunting beat, he rapped about loyalty, sacrifice, and betrayal. Lines like, "I held you down when the world turned away. Now you chasing clout with kids who can't match my pay. And I traded my dreams to make yours come true. Funny how the same love becomes the reason. We're through" hit hard. The freestyle went viral within hours, with fans calling it one of his rawest verses ever. But while fans praised Pap for expressing his pain through music, others pointed out how deep his wounds really were. This wasn't just about cheating. This was about a man who had built his identity around being the perfect husband, only to watch that identity crumble in real time. Meanwhile, Remy stayed unbothered. She posted glamorous photo shoots, promoted her projects, and avoided any direct response to Pap's freestyle. To many, her silence was strategic, a way to control the narrative and avoid getting dragged into a public back and forth. But to Papoose and his supporters, it came off as cold and dismissive, almost as if their marriage meant nothing to her. Things got even messier when industry insiders claimed that Papoose had more receipts that he was holding back. According to whispers, he had text messages, voicemails, and even hotel records that could allegedly prove Remy's betrayal. But he was torn. Should he go public with them and destroy her career, or keep them private out of respect for the years they shared? That internal conflict only made the situation more gripping, because fans knew if Pap ever decided to air everything out, it would be catastrophic, and it wasn't just a private battle anymore. Their peers in the industry began taking sides, whether subtly or openly. Some rappers reposted Papoose's freestyle with fire emojis, showing their support. Others, particularly those close to Remy, posted cryptic messages about choosing yourself and outgrowing love. The divide was clear, and it was splitting the hip-hop community right down the middle. By now, the narrative had shifted from, "Did Remy cheat?" to, "Will Papoose finally expose everything?" Fans were less focused on the rumors and more eager to see whether Pap would actually drop the alleged receipts. The anticipation kept his name trending, and ironically, it gave him a bigger spotlight than he'd had in years. His pain became his platform. But the real gut punch came when Papoose made a rare public appearance, performing live for the first time since the scandal broke. On stage, he paused mid-performance, took a deep breath, and told the crowd, "I gave my everything to someone who ain't see my worth. But you know what? I see my worth now. And from this day forward, I'm moving differently." The audience erupted in cheers, but behind the strength in his words, everyone could see the heartbreak in his eyes. Remy, on the other hand, seemed determined to live her best life. Rumors of her being spotted with Easy continued to circulate, and while she never confirmed anything, she didn't exactly go out of her way to deny it either. Her silence spoke volumes, and to many fans, it was confirmation that Papoose's accusations had been right all along. By the end of part 3, one thing was painfully clear: the fairy tale was over. The couple who had once been hailed as the blueprint for loyalty in hip-hop had crumbled under the weight of betrayal, pride, and shifting priorities. Papoose had given his all, but in the end, it wasn't enough to keep Remy by his side. And yet, through all the pain, one undeniable truth emerged. Papoose wasn't just the king of loyalty. He was also the king of resilience. And while Remy may have moved on, fans were rallying around Pap, ready to see him rebuild, rebrand, and remind the world of his worth outside of their marriage. The love story was dead, but the legacy, both good and bad, would live forever in hip-hop history. And there you have it. This whole saga between Papoose and Remy Ma has left fans speechless. From betrayal to public callouts, it's clear their once unshakable bond has been tested in ways no one saw coming. But the question is, do you believe Papoose is right to air all of this out in public? Or should Remy Ma have the chance to defend herself before the world judges? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over. And trust me, more receipts and drama are on the way, so you won't want to miss it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and smash that like if you're keeping up with this roller coaster. Until next time, stay locked in, because when it comes to love, loyalty, and betrayal, the truth always finds its way out.